So in this video, we're going to talk about the borrowing side of the MetalX lending platform. In the last video, we talked about how to lend out our assets and earn yield and create a double stream of yield coming into your life. If you missed that video, I will place it right up here in the upper right hand corner. But we're going to go ahead and continue forward and discuss the borrowing side of the MetalX lending platform. So the borrowing side is a little bit confusing for a lot of people. I'm going to try to make it as simple to understand as is possible. So in the last video we went over the numbers, guys, and it's important that if you don't understand these numbers, then you need to go back and you need to watch the lending part that I just linked up in the upper right hand corner, because you need to hover over or tap and hold if you're on a mobile device and look at these numbers right here. And remember that a dash is not a dash, it is a negative number, meaning that's what you're going to owe as time moves forward. And then you also have red numbers, green numbers, all right? And the red numbers mean that in total, like if we take the 4% XUSDC that is going to be taken from us, and we subtract the 2.45 positive loan that will be coming into us, we come out to a negative 1.54 APY as of right now on USDC. So if I were to borrow USDC, I would owe always. But whereas here on Cardano, for example, we have a negative 8.47 X ADA or ADA, but we have a positive 12.24% loan. And when you take that 12.2% positive loan and subtract the 8.47 that's taken away from you, you come out to a positive yield, and that's why the number is green, because you come out to a positive 3.78% yield that you'll be earning by borrowing ADA or ADA. And I hope this makes sense to you. If the number is red, then the two combined come out to a negative number, meaning that's what's going to be taken away from you. If it's a green number, it means that the two numbers above it come out to a positive yield. Now in this case, the positive yield is on the $ loan side of things. But you can take that loan and you can go to the swap function and swap it out for whatever token you want. So I could swap it out for ADA or ADA and get my ADA back, right? And then just take whatever is left over, and that's my yield to stake it to the loan protocol, or to do another swap for another asset, or whatever I want to do. All right, but it's important to understand, if it's green, you're getting a positive yield. If it is red, it means that no matter what you do, it's going to be extracted from you. There is no positive yield. So what I'm trying to get at is, when you borrow money, you can in fact earn yield rather than owing. Okay, so in the ADA or ADA example here, yes, I'm going to owe 8.47% in ADA, but I'm going to come out with a positive yield in $ loan of 3.78 loan APY. Okay, so the annual percentage yield is going to be a positive number, but it's going to be in the $ loan token. So you need to sit down and you need to study all of this. And I can promise you one thing: no matter what, if you'll just study all these numbers, there's always an opportunity to earn yield. And not only that, but we haven't even got into looping. Right, this is the big thing that's being talked about among major financiers and major players in the digital asset field. Major players. Looping. How you can take one asset, stake it, take what you are getting in yield from staking it, put it into something else, get yield from that, take that yield and put it into something else and get even more yield, and then okay, so it can get very lucrative. All right, and this is the opportunities that is available to you. But we're not going to get into that in this video. Looping will be a later video because that's advanced. We're in the intermediate section of the DeFi protocol of the MetalX ecosystem. The next thing we need to understand is if we borrow, what do we owe? Do we owe the $ amount, or how does this play out? How does this work? You need to really pay attention here. So if I take, let's just use ADA for example, and let's say I go over here to borrow, and I make sure I'm up here on borrow, and then I put in whatever I want to borrow. Say it's 10, right? I want to borrow 10 ADA or XADA. 10x ADA, and then it wants to know what am I going to deposit in order to borrow that ADA. Your max borrow to deposits is 60%. So you could, like, if you say you're going to borrow, or say you have deposited 100 ADA, the maximum that I can borrow using that is what? 60% of 100 is 60. So 60 ADA is the maximum that I would be able to borrow. So again, this is your borrow to deposits, and when you hover over it, percentage you can borrow off of deposits. Example, if you deposit 100 BTC, you can borrow $70 worth of any asset. Okay, and the reason why it's 70 here is because when it comes to BTC, you can borrow, your borrow to deposit is 70%, not 60%. Click on this at any time. It'll show you everything that you've got going on. For example, right now, total borrows, we have not borrowed anything. Borrowing power is 4820. Loan health is 100%. Deposits plus borrows APY. I am earning 4.19% currently, right? And all we have done is lent out this 60 USDC or XUSDC, and we are earning 2.87% XUSDC, plus we are also earning 1.31% $loan. And as you can see, we are now all the way up to 16 $loan tokens that are in our account, and we can see we have earned 24 cents or 0.247, basically 25 cents. All right, since I made the last video, just by putting $60 worth of XUSDC and lending it out, we've already earned both $loan, plus we have also earned XUSDC. And again, the more you put in, the more that you earn. Now, on the borrowing side, if I borrow XPR, so we can see how this works, let's say we're going to borrow 10,000 XPR, which is $59, right? Now let's say I'm borrowing this and my loan health stays at 90%, 80%, 50%, 30%, whatever, but it stays above zero, so I don't get liquidated. And say I borrow this for 5 or 6 months, and XPR goes up in value, and now all of a sudden that 10,000 XPR is no longer worth $59. It's actually worth, let's just say, $350. So do I owe $350? Is that what I have to pay back because everything's gone up in value? The answer is no. You owe back exactly what you borrowed. So you owe back the 10,000 XPR, not the dollar equivalent. All right? It's not about the dollar. It's about how many tokens you borrowed. That's what you owe back. The tokens plus the interest. All right. So in the case of XPR, we will owe a 1.24% XPR. So I will have to pay back the 10,000 XPR plus the 1.24% XPR, not the $ equivalent of that token. You owe back the token itself, not the value of that token. Okay, so you got to get this straight in your head. The only time that you owe the $ amount or the $ value of a token is when you're dealing with XUSDC, because that is a currency. And hang on a second, I got to pause the video. I'll be right back. Okay, so again, I forgot where I was, but if you're borrowing US XUSDC, then yes, you owe the dollar the dollar value, but really you still owe the token. So you owe the XUSD token. So let's go ahead and borrow. We've already earned 24 cents, but let's borrow. Make sure it's on borrow up here, and let's just borrow 10. And my loan health will go from 100% to 381.9%. My utilization rate will go from 70, will stay 79.96%, and variable rate will stay the same. So my max borrow is 60%. Liquidation fee will be 10%, and the loan time frame is unlimited. We want to borrow that, and what are we going to deposit? I'm going to go ahead and deposit XUSDC, and the maximum I can deposit is, of course, what I owe right here, or what I have in my wallet, right? So I have 114. So I just say, let's borrow 10 XUSDC. We're going to not put any. If I put nothing here, if I don't put anything at all in here to add as a deposit, what it's going to do is it's going to look at this as my deposit, because that's what I am lending out to other people, right? So borrow, make sure it says borrow up there. We're going with 10 UXDC, and I can go ahead and borrow it because I'm already lending out something, right? I can borrow against what I am lending out, but I can choose any asset that is in this list here. I can use HBAR, Doge, USDC, the XMT token, which is the governance for the basket of currency dollar in the MetalX ecosystem. I can use XPR, XRP, XLM, ETH, LTC, Litecoin, BTC, or ADA, right? But I'm not going to use any of them. I'm just telling you that if you have nothing deposited in any of these columns, right, and you don't have anything deposited whatsoever, then you're going to have to figure out what you're going to use as collateral. What are you going to deposit as collateral to borrow that XUSDC? But for us, we already have it here, and so I am just going to hit borrow. It'll come up and it'll want us to sign our transaction. So I will sign the transaction, and once this updates here, it'll show up here, and you can see we have now borrowed 10 USDC. Now we are owing 4% XUSDC, but we are getting a positive 2.46% loan. So that loan will come up here into our rewards, which we can claim. And all you do is hit claim, sign the transaction, and then you have claimed it. I'm not going to claim it right now, but you just sign it, put your PIN in, your YubiKey, your facial, whatever you want to use, and then you claim it, and then you can swap it or you can stake it into the loan protocol and earn more loan. There's all sorts of different options. But as time passes by, I am going to be owing 4% on the XUSDC that I borrowed. So $10, I'll have to pay 4%. So over time, you'll see this become 10.001, 10.01, 10.02, 10. It'll keep going up and up and up. So here we are. It's already started. I now owe 10.000001. Now I've got that in there, that 10 that I borrowed. So I went from 114 to 124 in my wallet. So it added it to my wallet. As you can see here, I now have 124 XUSDC. So whatever you borrow goes directly into your wallet, and then I can take that borrowed and I can earn the two of them combined, both the XUSDC and the loan combined. I can earn 4.1. So I can take the amount the 10 that I just borrowed, and I can lend that 10 that I borrowed, and I can deposit it, sign the transaction, type your PIN in, and as you can see, this 60 went up to 70, and at this point I now owe 10.000002. And this will continue to go on and on and on. Now, I'm earning 4%, I owe 1.5%. Do you see what I just did there? I literally borrowed XUSDC based on what I had deposited. Once I borrowed it, I then lent it, and now I'm earning interest, a positive yield, through time. And whenever I want to, I can just come back up here to the lending to pay off my loan. So I owe 10.000002. What I'll do is I'll come up here to lend. I'm going to withdraw 11. We're just making up number. Right? We're just making it up. So hold on before I do that. You can see where my loan health is. Earn, I'm earning 4.18. Pay, I'm paying 1.53. And when you put it all together, my loan health is 461.98%. Now, let's go ahead and pull our 10.000002 out of what we just lent. Alright, I'm just going to pull out 11 to make it easy. So I'm going to go to lend. I want to withdraw. I'm going to withdraw 11. I'm going to sign the transaction. So now it's back in my wallet, and now I'm going to pay off my borrow. So XUSDC, I want to go to repay, right up here, repay, and I owe 10.0002, so we're going to put in 10.000002, repay, sign the transaction. Once that goes through, as you can see, I do not owe anything. So that's how you borrow money, guys. That's how you borrow. And you can use any asset that you want to borrow against. You can use any asset as collateral. And like I said, because of the way this particular one is set up right now. Now remember, these numbers change rapidly. They can change in the blink of an eye. We went from 29% APY on earn all the way down to 4.18% because somebody took their XPR and they swapped it all for XUSDC, and then they lent it into the protocol, and then they borrowed, and then all of the APYs significantly fell, and they can fall in a moment's notice. Now in the future they're working on getting us alerts and stuff that allow us to know when things change, so that we can quickly jump back over, get out of our loan, do whatever we got to do, right, when things change rapidly at the blink of an eye, as it did in this case. For now, we don't have those alerts, but they are coming. And again, to borrow, you just click on whatever it is that you want to borrow. Like if I want to borrow Litecoin, I click on Litecoin. There we are. Put in the amount of Litecoin I want to borrow, and then I choose what I want to use as collateral. Now, coming back to XUSDC, I can go to borrow, and I can say 10, and maybe I don't want to borrow against what I deposited. Maybe I want to actually use ADA, or maybe I want to use my ETH, right, which I don't have any in this particular account, but I could take my ETH and I could deposit my ETH as collateral to get my USDC loan. Now, I hope you understand the simplicity of this. You owe back the token. You do not owe back the $ value of that token. You owe back the amount of tokens that you borrowed. It's the tokens that matter. Okay? Get that clear in your head. If you need to, go over the video again and again until it clicks. You owe back the amount of tokens that you borrowed, not the value of those tokens. Alright? So what you can do is, as time moves forward and you're DCAing in and your dollar cost averaging in, and all of a sudden down the road, all the XPR that you bought, all of the metal that you bought, all of the $ loan that you accumulated and staked and earned 13% interest by staking for 4 years, or whatever. Right, all of a sudden down the road, 5-6 years from now, you're a millionaire. Now what you can do is you can take your assets and you can come over here to this protocol, and then you can borrow. Say you need to buy a house for $250,000, then you would borrow that and you would take your asset and you would use it as a collateral. You don't sell it into USDC, you use it as a collateral, a non-taxable event. This is how the wealthy operate. You borrow off of your asset the money you need for your to purchase that house, or to purchase that car, or to purchase whatever asset you're wanting to buy. And now, since you're borrowing, you're earning a positive 2.46% loan. And the way this is set up, and as the value of loan goes up, the interest alone, the yield that you're making alone just by itself pays off the loan. You probably just didn't hear what I said. This is the power that is coming in decentralized finance, folks. This is the power. This is the opportunity that is sitting before you through the MetalX ecosystem. Other DeFi platforms as well, but this is the only platform that is 100% completely and utterly compliant in every imaginable way. You never have to worry about government suing it or any of these different things. There is no stress. It's a self-custody wallet. Your WebAuth wallet is self-custody. You own the keys. You can change the keys. You have power. And if you screw it all up, they can get you your keys back. But it is your wallet. You own the keys. It's self-custody, not MetalX holding it for you. Okay? Understand, this is a self-custody wallet. You're not going to see this in the other platforms. And it is 100% compliant in every imaginable way. This is why I am teaching you decentralized finance through the MetalX ecosystem. What I need to do, what I really need to do, is sit down and show you guys the vision of the MetalX, their vision, where they want to take all this, where they're planning to go with the MetalX ecosystem. Because once you see it, then you understand it, and then you can grasp what I just told you, that in the future, if you're getting your assets now, before the appreciation comes, before the institutions really get involved, which is coming soon, guys, very, very quickly, then you'll be able to borrow against your assets and literally have the protocol, the lending protocol, literally pay your loan for you. Literally pay it for you. This is the power of what you have. This is why I am teaching you what I'm teaching you. And again, I need to make it absolutely clear. There is absolutely no financial advice in any of my videos. I am not giving you financial advice. I don't ever give financial advice. But I am showing you how to use the MetalX ecosystem, the decentralized finance that is available to you. What you do with it is up to you. Remember, always start with the least amount that you can possibly start with. You know, maybe you borrow $1, right, to see how this plays out. But you start with the least amount that you can start with. And you learn how the system works. Then, once you fully understand and comprehend it, then you borrow what you want to borrow. Just remember that if you borrow and your loan health ever gets down to 0, you will be liquidated. You will lose your assets. So never allow it to get to 0. Remember, when you are lending, you can never ever be liquidated. You simply earn the yield that is shown on your screen. And in all of these cases, it's two different things. It is a token plus $ loan token. So it is a double yield coming into you as you lend out your assets into the MetalX Lending protocol. I hope this video has helped you, and we shall catch you in the next video. God bless you all. Get in the word, stay in the word, get the word in you. Most important thing you could probably do in your entire life. And we'll catch you in the next video.